Attention, everybody. The views and opinions expressed in the show are not necessarily those of X Ministry, X Media Group, and or its affiliate and subordinate ministries and or nonprofits. Some of this content may be adult in nature, so please use discretion while watching with the kids.
Take a breath.
Give it just a second. Johnny's, there we go. Johnny is running it from the behind the scenes. Good morning. Go ahead and merge us on over, brother. Good morning. Coming to you live from Axe Media Group headquarters here in beautiful Springfield, Missouri. It's the morning drive with Matt and Jay, with your hosts Matt and Jay, Steve Mickey Max over there, and we got Johnny Rooster running things back behind the scenes there at the helm, we call it.
Yes.
Hi, Johnny.
What
Hi.
a mighty Johnny.
Hi, Johnny. Hi. We need to.
Off the camera, boys.
So sorry we're late. I'm just going to say it's all Johnny's fault, and we can do that.
Woo.
Yep.
You wouldn't even know that Steve was late.
Yeah, see? That's good.
He was like, "Yay, my alarm went off on time,"
Talking about
and
punctuality.
then he shows up late. That's just sorry, Steve. I'm having a
No,
laugh
yeah.
at your expense.
I'm just going to blame it on the school buses.
Yeah, it's always the school bus's fault. So today we're talking about online protection. And I'm not talking about wrapping your computer in a rubber-like substance to prevent water from getting in. I'm talking about being careful who you're talking to on the internet. If something strikes you as weird, if you get a friend request and you think, something's off about this, 9 times out of 8.9 times, I just feel like being on today, it's going to be somebody that's trying to scam
Really?
you. Yeah. So Jay will be reading from the
I'm not
archives
going to read that.
of amazingness that he had. You're not going to read
You
that?
want me to read that?
Oh, come on.
Yeah.
The amazing Jay's not going to do that?
Yeah, and most of the time, you know, those beautiful ladies that friend request you, and they're out of nowhere. They've got like 2 pictures left, and you got like 1 or 2 mutual friends. 9 times out of 10, those are guys that are friends, because that's what they prey on is, you know, the male weakness, which is the weakness of the flesh. I mean, we all have the weakness of the flesh, right?
Yes, I'll
So-
admit that.
And so all right, so they also talk, there's a couple things that they do. They lure you in with 3 things: fear, greed, and sexual gratification.
Yep.
That's the 3 things mainly that they use to bait you into talking to them. Like with me, it seems like they always bring up, "Oh, have you heard about this new stimulus package?" And it's somebody that I've been friends with for a long time. All of a sudden, I get a friend request from them. So I'm like, I wonder. And now it's like a game, and I'll accept it and be like, "Hey, how are you?" "I'm good." And then I'll mess with them.
I do
Like,
the same
"Hey,
thing.
man, the other day, whenever you," and I'll just come up with something. "The other day, whenever you said that to Johnny or said that to Jimmy Buffett, you know, I loved what you said to that." You know, they'll say, "Yeah, that was crazy." Just leading them on all kinds of, you know, thinking that they're getting their hooks in. And then, "Have you heard about this?" I said, "Oh, let me guess. Have you heard about the new stimulus package?" And I was like, "Oh, let me guess." And I'll start typing out everything that they were typing out. And, you know, and then I say, "Let me ask you something. How do we know each other?" Then watch it. We went to study in school together. And it's like, okay, this guy, the person who they're impersonating is a complete and total like redneck. Doesn't talk like that at all.
Do we have a winner yet?
I have not received that. I think Pam will probably send me that today.
Yes, you know.
Larry Melton still needs to call her.
Yes.
So
he
that
told
he
me
can
that
get
yesterday.
address. Yes. Larry Melton was back at church yesterday, and that's exciting stuff. Just once or twice.
Yeah, we've all been there.
This show you'd say Nami.
Ah, gotcha.
You know,
Nami.
That's who's,
Nami. Sounds like a
But make sure we're positive.
name.
about it.
Nami.
that's who's doing this month?
This week is Nami. Be positive about them. They're
Yeah, we love Nami.
Stephanie Appleby.
We love Nami. We are
We
okay.
love Stephanie Appleby being part of the show.
Yeah, and I tell you, anything because all right. So mental illness is not what you would call a what do they call that?
A
Like
laughing matter.
no. Obviously, yeah, no. Mental illness is not a laughing matter, except for the person who
Has laphophobia.
yeah, laphophobia. That's probably a real thing.
Especially if they sucked in too much helium.
It's it's not. NAMI is okay. So
Yeah.
it's not one of those
God,
things
we
that
did it.
are glamorous, And I'm not calling any sickness glamorous, but in the media, there are certain sicknesses that come to the forefront because they're
Well, they also, just like everything else, they want to show us the worst of the worst of every every categorization of human nature that there can be.
We were just talking about that stimulus package.
oh yeah.
I tell them about the attorney. I do the attorney thing. Wow. I run through everything through my attorney. I can't do anything without my attorney.
Oh, we're back on. Yes.
And so I'll tell them, well, let me talk to my attorney and I'll have my attorney get back with you.
It's funny.
And
One of them was Steve Hansen. It was either Steve Hansen or Larry. Oh, it was Larry White from Northwest. It's like, sorry, it's just funny that obviously you can tell that Larry White is older than I am,
Yeah.
and this person's like,
Right.
oh, we went to study at school together. It's like, oh, well, you're wrong. Let's hear the next one. I've typed that in too.
but
Oh, we need to do a commercial.
Yes.
Oh yeah, 2 minutes late.
Linda Fleetwood. Good morning.
Linda Fleetwood.
wow, Linda, long time no see.
We'll be right back after these short.
People that have mental illness are not weak. They're the strongest people I know because we've had to endure so much. People that have mental illness are not weak. They're the strongest people I know.
There we go.
There you go. All right, welcome back. And everybody, be patient with Johnny. If you guys have been watching for any length of time, the morning drive and whatnot, you have seen this kind of stuff happen quite regularly.
Yes.
Regularly.
Yes.
That was good. That was good.
NAMI, a good organization.
NAMI.
Yes,
It's
placed.
National Alliance for Mental Illness.
Yes, and they have support groups that are led by actual people who have suffered from some sort of mental illness and been through a lot of issues and problems in life
That's
themselves.
who
and
you
they can
want
help
to.
you through a lot of things. At least give you a support group.
Yeah. Sorry.
That's who you want to lead your group. Somebody who's already been through it, so that 100% that it's gonna, at least the talking and going through in a group session, that it's gonna do well.
Yeah, and they know the path you're going down and
Right.
have been there.
Mm.
So they can relate and really be helpful.
Yeah, and sorry, I'm trying to find this so we can like and share this. Good morning, Johnny Rooster. Larry Melton says it was good to see you all Sunday. NAMI SWMO.org. NAMISWMO.org. Thank you to whoever's posting as Axe Media Group for posting that.
Yep.
That was probably Mrs. Rooster out there. Oh, was that you? Mr. Rooster. Reverend Rooster.
Oh man, don't get him started, man.
Deacon Cockadoodle-Doo.
He can cockadoodle do anything.
We've got a momentary phone call. I'll be right back. Keep going.
Ladies and gentlemen, he'll be right back.
Online protection.
Online protection.
He'll be right back right after he's done with the phone call.
All right, so there's a $100 giveaway going on this week and every week throughout the summer. Sponsor this week is NAMI, NAMI, SWMO.org. So NAMI, Southwest Missouri.org. So check it out. They're really good people. We actually have somebody who comes on to Johnny's show on a regular basis. Well, once a month, the scheduled once a month
Yep.
co-host. But they're this week's sponsor. So last week's was Larry Melton, obviously. Keep watching AMG Broadcasting for your chance to win.
Thank you very much, Linda. I appreciate that more
What
than
does
you
he say?
know.
Good
And
morning,
there are
guys.
no
It's been a
repeat.
crazy
Remember, no repeat winners in this.
Yeah. Morning,
Thank you.
Becky.
I don't know. I have
not received this week's winner yet.
He asked if there were no repeat winners. If a person could win twice.
I don't think they. I don't know if they can or not.
I didn't say yes, and I didn't say no. I said
I would
don't
say
know.
probably not. I don't know. I do not know. I'm still in the process of liking and sharing these videos.
Good morning, everybody.
Your good morning, everybody.
I'm doing it
My-
since you guys are
well-
so awesome on the air. They want to hear you ramble while I do this. I'm gonna say.
I left my phone in the car, so
Yeah.
you can like and share. I mean,
You left
can-
your phone in the car.
You can say good morning to me too, but I won't see it until after.
How dare you leave your phone in the car?
Last week was H2O zone.
Yeah, last week was H2O zone. That's the water zone.
To find out the name of the winner of the $100. This week, somebody won $100.
that was make you think you were on acid.
So one of your commercials had no audio.
Yes, that was
One of the.
that was the first one.
Did you turn it up?
How would
Matt?
that be?
I did not.
I'll do it.
Maybe there's just a way to turn
It may
up.
be all turned up. It may. I don't know. We'll find out.
Each input that has a volume will be on here.
So we're having a teaching moment.
That's right. I'm
So
learning.
online security. Basically, I have a lot of redundancies that I have like on my Facebook account and stuff like that. Where if anybody tries to change anything, I get an email. Like just last week or the week before, I can't remember. Somebody tried to reset my password.
Yeah, I remember.
Meaning
you
they
saying
tried
that.
logging in and they tried to reset my password, but it won't reset my password without me putting in that they sending me the text and me putting in the certain code that they text you. So
Mhm.
I highly recommend, and it can be kind of a pain to log in sometimes if you have to do that. But having all those in place will protect your account from being hacked. Now, that's not going to stop people from stealing your pictures and making a profile with your face on it. And then,
People are jumping on this. Keep going.
so like they'll take your
Mark.
picture. Mark who?
Yeah, this online protection thing is a big topic.
Yeah.
10 more. There's more.
So you have it to where it sends you a text message for anything you do. And let's see, I learned the hard way. My Facebook account was hacked by an ex-girlfriend years ago. And so I went on there and I logged me out of everything and then changed the password. And it sends me a message anytime somebody tries to even log in. Even myself, if I log in from a different device,
Is
boom, it
this
sends
you?
me email. Yeah. So, and then like 30 seconds later, it said somebody tried to log in from such and such. And so I sent that person a message. I said, nice try. I kicked you off. What are you talking about? Well, anyways, yeah. So long story short, people will still steal your pictures and friend request a bunch of people. So the same thing that I would tell everybody to tell me if they get another friend request from me, it's probably not me. Because I will
I'll know
go
better.
through, I will post on my account, hey, I just sent everybody a friend request. I'll make sure that everybody, hopefully I don't have to. I've never had to.
Yeah,
I have not had to do that yet.
especially if they send you a friend request and you just got done talking to them on Facebook
Yeah.
Messenger.
And we will be right back after these messages.
endure so much.
I don't understand what she means by it.
We back.
So she's still waiting for Larry Milton. That you got the number for Pam. You need to call her and give her your address so they can send you your $100 from last week.
But will they have another winner?
That's what Mrs. Rooster was just talking to me about that, and we're trying to figure out. I didn't receive anything from Pam.
That will not make anybody happy in Pakistan.
Oh, they are going to be furious.
Yes. Oh, okay. I know. Yes, I know that she's a driver. Yes, she is a.
So the reason this topic came up was because this weekend I had a friend request, or last week I had a friend request from a young lady, and when I looked at her profile before I accepted the request, we had common friends, and they were recovery friends. So I thought this must be a young lady in recovery. It seemed common to me, and she kind of looked a little familiar. I don't know that she was familiar to me or not, but she had a familiar face. So I accepted the friend request. Well, then this weekend, yesterday, I get this messenger. Hi. I said, well, good morning, because it was in the morning. And she started asking me just right off the bat questions about, what I do and who, where I live and all this. And I thought that was kind of an odd way to start a conversation with somebody that you don't know, who you just friended on Facebook because you have common friends. I thought that was a weird way. Just didn't seem right to me. So one, if somebody friend requests you and they don't know anything about your profile and they're not starting a conversation by some common interest you have, I think that's odd. Don't you? You know what I mean? Because for one thing, you friend request somebody because the material on their, and the content, for me, in my case, I accepted the friend request because of common friends who were in recovery. So I assumed this person was probably in recovery and just was building a support group and wanted things on their Facebook that were familiar and productive to her recovery or something. That's just kind of the thought I had. Of course, I suspected. And then this asking me questions that were kind of really not personal in the way that would be getting to know somebody, but more personal, like about financial stuff. So I said, hey, why did you friend request me? Yeah. And she's like, what do you mean? I said, well, a few days ago, you sent me a friend request. I looked, we had common friends. And then I just looked now and we no longer have any friends in common. So she said that she was protecting herself against hackers. And I said, well, that's odd. Why would you send friend requests to hackers?
Yep.
And she said, yeah. And so then the conversation went on a little bit like that, and more questions about where I am, what I do. And I said, Emily, why did you friend request me? Do we have anything in common? What is this about? So then she says, oh, well, I'm single and I live with my sister. And so apparently she went back, looked at my profile, took the very first thing on there, which is whether or not you're single or, and came back with that as something in common. And I don't know if I have in there that I have roommates, but I do have roommates. And so I said, okay. I said, well, I'm single and I have roommates too. Thinking, okay, we have that in common. And then, so it was a very weird conversation. And then she started asking me, and she said, what do you do? And I said, well, I volunteer for the Christian church. I watch YouTube videos about how to build things I'm interested in, and I ride a motorcycle, And so she said, oh, well, I just took a bath. And I said, what about you? So she said, I just took a nice hot bath and I'm laying in my bed kicking my feet or something like that. I don't even know what that meant. And she says, would you like to watch me undress? And I said, no, thank you, Emily. I'm sure that you're very lovely, but I'm not interested. Thanks. Yeah. And so
True. True.
Yeah, and so then she said, "Well, would you, I know we're far apart, but would you like to have, I guess there's a messenger private
Yes, there
video
is.
thing,"
There is.
and wanted to know if I wanted to watch her, and I said, "Well, no, thank you." And then bloop, she blocked me and, and erased all of her
Erased all her
messages.
text messages.
which
Yep,
is still
that-
fairly
actually,
clear
we're-
about how the conversation went, even with just my text messages there. I told her, I said, Emily, if why don't you go on there, actually look at somebody's profile, find something you have that's important to you in common with them, and
Yeah.
and have a conversation about those things you have in common that are important. Why don't you do that instead of talking to me? I'm 52 years old. I didn't tell her how old I was. I told her I'm more than twice your age, and I have kids older than you, much older than you.
Becky says, "LOL, Jay."
Yeah, so I thought that was very funny. Yeah, no, thank you, Emily. I'm, sure you're lovely, but I think I'll pass on that.
Becky's probably really laughing.
And
So we do
I
have a
did
winner.
ask her. I said, "Why would you want to do something so intimate with a perfect stranger? Why don't you find somebody you have something common with that's important to you, and have a conversation like that?" And
Oh, and let me tell you about Jesus.
let me tell you about Jesus.
Oh, I've done it where I've said, "Oh, well, what do you do?" I said,
This week's winner.
Yeah.
This week, or from last week's drawing. I will say that she's actually been watching us since before we were even. I mean, she hasn't watched us as much here lately, but she used to watch us all the time. And I just sent her a message. Hopefully, she won't think that it's like a hacker or something. But I'll have to text her actual cell phone. So Priscilla Kemp is the winner of the $100.
Priscilla, congratulations.
Congratulations on the win.
Huh?
KEMP.
Yes.
So I've had them where they say, "Well, what do you do for a living?" Well, I'm a pastor. Oh, and then I said, "Yes, I've been married to my wife for the last 25 years." Oh, that's nice. Well, where's your wife now?
Bless your wife's heart. What?
Where's your wife now? And I said, "She's sitting right next to me," and she really is. She's sitting right next to me.
That's funny.
And we are so in love. And she's, "Well, do you want to see me undress?" I said, "I just told you my wife is sitting here next to me, and Rachel is watching this conversation." And I said, "First of all, I'm married, happily married, and I
Puggy pics.
and I am a pastor."
I probably would have responded better to Puggy pics. So if they'd stolen that and started sharing that with me, I think we would have had a pretty good
But
conversation.
anyway,
'Cause I do
so
like dogs.
it just went on, and I just said, I appreciate you wanting to be friends with me, but I don't think this is going to work out. And I said, my wife wants to say hi. And all of a sudden the face, the picture of the girl or whatever, all of a sudden
Disappeared.
it's now it's a Facebook user.
Yeah. Yeah. I wonder how they actually get information from people that way. It's kind of interesting to me that someone would so freely give vital information. I mean, I get telling people who you are and where you're from, stuff like that. But I wonder how they get such detailed information that would make that a profitable way. I mean, and at first the language is so weird, that they talk so weird that there's like auto.
They don't pay attention to what you're saying.
But
They
it
just
did clearly change to a real person, or at least to a person who was actually paying attention.
Right.
We're going to go to a break.
Yeah, we'll be right back.
Okay, we're back.
Sorry.
We are not back.
We're not back.
Oh,
Nope.
there we are.
There we are.
Okay.
Yeah,
The
that's
delay.
fine.
Boom.
Yeah, so that was how the conversation came up. The topic came up today. Was I
Yeah.
was telling Johnny about that today.
They're professional hackers that really, if they know how to do it right, they can look into your hack into your information and get that information.
How
you.
do they do that? How do they manage that?
I don't know. They have probably codes.
Do people make their passwords and their PIN codes so closely related to those simple questions that a person could use those questions
most
to
of the
figure
time
out your PIN code or password?
to reset or to like those are common security questions.
Yeah.
Like
Where do you work?
Yeah.
What do you do?
Yeah. Well, they can use that to what we call when they're asking for that, they're phishing for information, and that's so that they can call, like, let's say, call up your bank's automated deal and try to change ownership over to them or things like that, or get a new card sent to a different address.
So it's not actually, you don't need to give them your social security number and your bank account number and all that stuff. They can, well, and I do know that some of my security questions are pretty common, that somebody who knew me well might have the answers to some of them, but no way to all of them.
Yeah, that's true.
And no way to all of them, because when I've had to reset things, it asked several of them that nobody that even knows me well would actually know that sequence of answers. So
True.
They must be very clever at phishing.
Oh yeah, that's why they're so good. And
Yeah,
that's what they call professionals.
Huh?
Phishing, keylogging, and stored
Can you
passwords. This would be PFs. You see that?
do you have Matt on here?
2 Peter 3:9 is the scripture of the day.
Do you have Matt Pearson on here?
The Lord is
your
not
text
slack
messages?
concerning his promise,
Send that to him.
as some count slackness, but is long suffering towards us, not willing that any should perish, but that all should come to repentance. Let me read that again. The Lord is not slack concerning his promise, as some count slackness, but is long suffering towards us, not willing that any should perish, but that all should come to repentance. It's good. That's good stuff.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
So that's the scripture of the day on YouVersion, and then, or not on YouVersion, on what is that?
What does
Bible
that
Gateway.
also say
I'm just
about? I don't know. Do women have those same? How do they fish for women? So they use sexuality for single men, apparently, obviously, right? Because this girl went straight to sexuality, or this person fishing
Right.
for information went straight to sexuality and making an offer that is, well, first of all, intimacy to me is something that's shared between two people, and who would share something like that with a perfect stranger? I mean, that's going pretty far.
True.
Yeah.
And so obviously it's probably not a real person. It's
Well,
just
it
somebody
is a
with
real
a bunch of
person.
pornography pictures that would be, or I don't even know how all that works, and I
It's a
don't
guy.
want to know.
It's a guy sitting there going, "Oh, you would do like to watch me," you know.
But I
whatever.
think more importantly is not about the scammer, but about the people being scammed
Yeah.
and how they are being manipulated through sexuality, or I wonder what other
Greed.
types, greed,
which is like giveaways,
money giveaways, right? And
fear.
fear.
They say, "Oh, well, you need to pay such and such, or we're going to have the police."
police.
I
knock
wonder
down
if
your
women
door.
get a different set of type of scams.
Yeah,
What kind? How? So women, ladies, our listeners,
Morning,
we know
Steve
that you're
Schultz.
here and you're listening. We hope that you're listening. What kind of scams what kind of tools do they use on you? I mean, is it a woman saying she's just had a bath and is going to bed and wants to know if you want to help her undress? I don't know how that works. I'm assuming it would be a real person, because how do you help them?
Yeah,
Except by
right.
making a suggestion,
Yeah,
right?
And
wash yourself,
Yep. And a lot of times,
get
yeah.
clean,
Yeah, I don't know how
because
that
you're
would
a
work.
dirty individual for trying to get me to watch.
Yeah, so if they're using that on me because the first thing she saw in my profile was that I was single, the only thing probably. How do they how do they try to manipulate you? And does that tell us something about ourselves that they would so quickly choose that avenue
Yeah.
It's
of seduction?
It's a psychological thing.
Well-
They're getting in. They're trying to get into you and trying to see just how much information.
They're probably really successful
yes.
for the most part. 'cause
Well,
you got
why
a
would they
bunch of-
choose that route of seduction with me? There's nothing on my profile that would indicate
You're a man,
any,
and they just assume
except for
all
I'm
men.
single.
They just assume all men.
You're right.
Well, I mean, let's face it. We're men of the flesh. All right.
sweet talk, Becky says.
Sweet talk. Yeah.
yeah, that's true, Becky. That's
What kind
true.
of terms are there, common phrases that they use that might be a tip off to either someone who is trying to scam in and get your financial information? Are they after your financial information, or what are they after when they try to get information from you?
I think probably financial. I know mom about got scammed years ago, and dad reluctantly about sent. Okay, so mom looked at this horse on a trading deal on Facebook, right? And then she went to this supposed website, and there's this horse. And oftentimes, if it's too good to be true, if it seems too good to be true on the
It
internet, it
usually is.
certainly is. And she looked it up on the internet, and this guy had a website up, all pictures of this one horse, selling this horse for $1,500. And when you see the video, you're like, that's a $15,000 horse in that video. You know, obviously pedigree, you know, that kind of deal. And the guy was like talking in person, and he was like, well, I can bring the horse down, because it was like supposedly from Colorado or something. I can bring the horse down, but you'll have to pay for transporting the horse down. And then when it gets there, if you don't like it, he said, we'll just put the horse back on the thing and bring it back. But that's why, you know, since you're paying for the transportation of the horse anyways. And dad was like, well, do you take PayPal? He said, no PayPal. He said, well, what if I just mail you a check? No checks. They would only do MoneyGram.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't even, well, they recommended MoneyGram or what is that other one?
Western Union.
Western Union. And okay, so Western Union and MoneyGram have stepped up their game.
Yeah.
So many people are being duped into stuff that they call, and that before they release the payment to this person on the other end, they call the person giving the money, and they ask really, really personal questions. Like, how long have you known this person? Where did you meet them?
Yeah.
What school do you think they went to? You know, that kind of thing. And they determined, because see, dad finally reluctant. We both told mom, said, Mom, you know, there's something fishy about this. It doesn't seem right. Well, no, he's got a website and everything. He's on Facebook. So he's legitimate. Mom, there's something. If a person doesn't take PayPal, checks or money orders, and will only take MoneyGram or cash, it's a scam. Well, dad was like, okay, well, we can at least send $500 to get him down there. Anyways, yeah, I know we got to go here in a couple minutes.
Because we started a little late.
Right. So, yeah, and I got to try to remember how the actual events happened. So, long story short, MoneyGram called dad, not MoneyGram, well, one of the two. Actually, both of them. The first one's like, no. And the second one, dad, he was like trying to not
Get it to work.
Well, yeah. And even though he answered everything properly, I think the tone of his voice the guy knew that dad just met this guy on the internet, because dad was actively avoiding that question. And so the guy said, yeah, sorry, we're not giving this person your money. I mean, they just flat out denied it.
Really?
We'll just deposit that money back into your bank
Similar
account.
thing happened on Craigslist with an automobile to me.
Yeah,
they
they'll
want-
take care of it. Yeah. And what it is these people find these for sale things, and then they post something on Craigslist with that picture, making it like they're the ones selling it.
Tell them
Right.
how they can win that $100.
Okay, so if you're, you can win that $100 by liking and following our stuff. This week's winner from last week's drawing, Priscilla Kemp. Be sure and get a hold of Pam at that email address I just sent you. Got to get your address. So I'd like to thank everybody for joining us on the morning drive today. We'll be back on tomorrow, same time, same channel. Be sure and tune in next for the morning mouth with Johnny Rooster. I don't know what he's got going on, but it's going to be fun, I'm sure. You got a guest? Little Red Hen. Awesome. Followed by The Bucket List with Dr. Paul Collins and Miss Nancy Collins.
We missed some great comments, but
Did we?
yeah.
See, it doesn't come up like this. What did we miss?
A lot of
Larry says.
I had to take my dad's phone away because
Larry says, do people make money for